This is Prashant Mokshya. Welcome to everyone. Today I am with the nature. You can see the mountain, you can see the Himalayas, you can see the nature. Today I am dancing with the nature. There is a saying, when you are so close to yourself, the dance is the only way to manifest it. Because the joy of being with the universe, the joy with being the nature, and joy with being your own original state is the biggest happiness you ever can feel, you ever can see, or you ever can live. I'm now at the height of 1100 meter, just opposite of the white stupa located at the hills side by Fewa Lake in Pokhara. You can see the white stupa over there, and just opposite of that you can see the majestic mountains over there. You can see Machapuchre, you can see Annapurna, and you can see lots of range of mountains over here. Machapuchre seems to have a little less snow over there, but the Annapurna to have the majestic amount of. And down there is a Pokhara valley. Due to this huge fog, you can see the valley over there. You can see a building over there is just dissolved somewhere under the fog. But if you see just above the fog, there is still a life. There is still a humanity exists below the fog and above the fog. You can just differentiate the life above the fog and below the fog. Below the fog, there is a crowd, there is infrastructure, there is a development, there is a huge luxury over there. Material, you can say a huge material old is lying below the fog. And above the fog, when you just cross the fog, you can see a serenity, you can see peace, you can see bliss. You can be enchanted. You will come close to yourself, to the nature, to the place where you belong to. Not the place created by the human, but the place created by the nature, by the nature, and the place where you feel to yourself, where you don't get lost, where you don't get mesmerized by the human development, where you don't get dissolved by the human development, but you get lost somewhere to yourself. You get lost to the snow, to the beautiful mountain, to the hills, to the Himalayas. And the calmness of the Himalaya and the peacefulness of the Himalaya will always enchant you, will always makes you closer to yourself. By seeing this, I can just imagine how the humanity is lost to the life it has created to itself. How humanity is how the humanity has forgotten its own true nature. And by the nature, how clever is nature, how cunning is nature, or how intelligent is nature. See, the nature is just segregating, just differentiating the creation of people, the creation of the intelligent people in the nature and its own creation. It is just segregating, it is just differentiating between the life humanity has created and the life of the true nature, the life of serenity, the life of ecstasy, the life of bliss. How wonderful it is. People say there is always a war between the human being and the nature. But I don't see a war, because the nature is so clever than the whole humanity. However, there may be development in science, however there may be development in other aspect of life, but you can't a human being who itself is the creation of nature never will win to its creator. Because there is a saying, however the creation is active, however the creation is powerful, however the creation is intelligent, but it can be more intelligent, it can be more powerful, it can be more sublime, it can be more masterminded than the creator itself. You can feel it. You can see the difference over here. The calmness nature present to us through the mountains, the calmness nature present to us through the serenity, the calmness the nature present us to its own self. How unaffected is the nature, how unaffected is the mountain, how unaffected is the hills, how unaffected is the trees. However you can distract, you may try to distract, but they are standing still, but they are saying you some message. The nature is delivering some message to the humanity. They said, however obstruction you give to us, however distraction you give to us, we are standing still, we are firm, we are facing you, we are unjudgmental to you, still we are not judging by your action, we are unconditionally loving you. This is the statement of the nature. They are unconditionally giving that beauty, they are unconditionally giving us that serenity, they are unconditionally knocking us for our own reality, but we are lost somewhere, but we are just gone far behind to somewhere, we are just gone such a far to ourselves that we still cannot realize our heartbeat, we still are unaware of our respiration, we still are unaware of our today's daily life. But the nature, but the mountains over there are showing us the glimpse of our life and calling us back to the life. Mountains are asking us to be ourselves, not to get plunged somewhere, not to get submerged somewhere on the reality, on the illusionary reality, but to accept the truthness of the nature, but accept the reality of human life, and just to live with peace and just to live with bliss. live in the ecstasy, live in the joy, live in the utter bliss. That is what nature is asking us. Nature is not asking us to do anything for them, they are asking us to do something for ourselves. See how intelligent nature is. Nature is just such intelligent because it's the creator of us. We say we are the most intelligent animal in the nature, but how intelligent is the nature itself which has created us. See how intelligent is the God of ourself, creator of ourself, which has created us. However we may be intelligent, however how higher building we may make, how big structure we may build, but there is always a greater architect in the nature. But there is always a bigger, a more intelligent architect. But there is always a more enthusiastic, more loving, more caring than us, than the most intelligent people. See the mountain over there. See its calmness. See its serenity. See its unconditional life. See its unjudgmental life. It has to go nowhere. It has come from nowhere. It has to go nowhere. It has nothing to achieve. It has nothing to gain. It has no sorrow. It has no pain. Still it is happy. Still it is in bliss. It is itself is in bliss. Not it is not itself only it is in bliss, but it is just empowering us. It is just spreading the bliss. It is spreading the tranquility. It is spreading the happiness. It is spreading the bliss. It is asking the humanity a question. How could you be happy? How could you be in peace? How could you be successful? How could you be in serenity? How could you be you yourself without being to your true nature? See the mountain. There may be some snow left to it, but still it's happy. It's not asking anything. It's not requesting anything. Though the cleverest, the most intelligent human being has created a host phenomena called global warming and just taken out all its snow, but it's not complaining like us. It's not asking anything to us. It has so little of snow. It has so little of its own life, own the very much beloved thing. The mountain, the most beloved thing for mountain is this snow. Almost most of the snow are gone down, but it's not complaining. Though we are causing a huge suffering to the mountain, to the nature, still it's not complaining. It's not asking for anything. It is just spreading the love. It is just spreading the tranquility. It is just spreading the wisdom. It's not complaining anything. It's not asking for us anything. It is just saying that if you be happy, I will be happy. It is just sacrificing its life. It is just giving its full state to the whole nature. It is not judging. Like us who are so much judgmental, who judge everything on its look, on the basis of its look, its power, its ability to do anything, but it's not judging. It is just spreading the love. It is just spreading the tranquility. It is just spreading the bliss. It is just making all the member of the nature happy. It is just, it is in unconditionally love with the humanity. It is in unconditionally love with the every creation of the nature. We have to learn. When we will learn? When the humanity will learn from this monumental thing, monumental architect of the nature, when we will learn? This is the most prevailing question. This is the most striking question, when we will learn. Gautam Buddha, when he saw a person, a single person dying, when he saw a single person getting old, when he saw a single person getting sick, he just felt that one day I will also get sick. One day I will also get the world. One day I will also die. And he starts for the seek of the liberation. He starts his journey. But how many death, how many sickness, how many old age we have seen? Still, we are just wanting something more. Still, we are just desiring to have something more. Still, we have just desire to do something more for our prosperity, for our well-being. But the point is, the thing we are doing, they are not giving us any happiness. The thing we are doing, they are not giving us any success. The thing we are doing, they are not giving to any peacefulness. How much money we may have, how much money we may acquire, or how much luxury we may have, still we are lacking that peace, we are lacking that happiness, we are lacking that bliss. But the nature, but the most genius creator of every creation is just opposite to ourselves, saying something so boldly, so acutely, so firmly, but we are not understanding. We are not getting what the nature is telling us. Nature is just saying us, be yourself. Be yourself. Don't be judgmental. Live an unconditional life. Don't judge and give anything to anyone. Just be tranquil. Just be bliss. Just be happy. That's all. That is the only message these four mountains are telling us. That is the only message all the creation of nature is telling us. But still we are not listening to them. But the important thing is, they are not complaining. They are not complaining that we are not listening to them. But they are just saying that more clearly, more honestly, more lovingly, more firmly. Still they are trying to say, still they are trying to deliver that message to all of us. But when will the humanity will listen? When will the whole people will listen? When will the most intelligent creation of the nature will listen? When will the self-declared most knowledgeable creation will listen? That is the question unanswered. That is the question of million years. That is the question of today's generation. That will be the question of next generation. That has been the question of Buddha's era. That has been the question of Jesus' era. That has been the question of Mahavir era. That has been the question of 21st century, when we will listen. But they are not complaining. See, these mountains are not complaining that the people, the most intelligent creation of the nature, is not listening to them, is not listening to their message. They are not worried. They said, they are saying, we will till our last breath, we will show you, we will give you the right path. It's up to you. It's up to your wisdom. It's up to your judgment. It's up to your willingness to change. Is up to your search for the bliss. Is up to your search for the happiness. Until you are ready for happiness, until you are ready for bliss, until you are ready for the calmness, until you are ready to be yourself, until you are ready to just dip into the true existence of your life, until you are ready to just live the life what you deserve to live, until the humanity is ready to give its full effort, to give the full effort to live the life in full faith. Until you do that, there is always a message, there is always a firm affirmation, there is always inspiration from this most intelligent, most architectural creation of the nature. They are saying, we'll always give you, we'll always inspire you, we'll always love you unconditionally. However global warming you are giving to us, however you are just taking the snow from us, the very dearest thing for us, however you are doing all this stuff to distract us, but we are not complaining about that. We are just loving you, we will be just loving you, we will do whatever we can to just give you some impression that if you live your life to the full state, if you do the thing that will enable you to be enchanted with your own being, we will always inspire you. That is the firm message. Question again is, when will so-called the most intelligent creature of the nature, so-called the most intelligent part of the nature, self-declared most intelligent part of the nature, will listen to the nature itself? That is the unanswered question, and I think that will remain unanswered for many years to come.